Good Monday morning to you. Welcome back. First, I want to thank you for all the kind comments and the corrections. It helps me to grow as a person, and most importantly, it generates excellent, helpful conversations that we're dealing with a very strong topic. So today, let's talk about our emotions that are triggered from the Lori Vallow-Daybell trial and entire situation with the cult. And I really wanted to touch on some of the beliefs and kind of the life of Barry, Lori's father, Barry Cox. But I found that there's just really not much information about him other than the which is big information, but he hasn't given interviews, and I think it's pretty well known that he he didn't feel like he should pay taxes and avoided those and taught others how to do so. And I wanted to ask him, Barry, do you use our roads? Do you use the bridges? Do you ever go to the post office, or do you mail some mail? Those are really perks of our democratic society. There are numerous things wrong with society, and we know that. But, oh, there goes my speech brain issue. Let me get back to where I was. Thanks for your grace on that and giving me time and a safe place to build back those skills and learn to not be too frustrated when that happens. So I would love for you to share information that you have on Barry Cox, because we know that household that Lori grew up in had a lot of dysfunction. We know that. But my point is, they also, Adam and Summer, also grew up in the same household. Now, I was told that Lori was deemed the golden child and got most of the attention, or positive attention, and was not really rebuked or reprimanded. There I go. Woohoo! So, before we get on, I want to send a thank you to Sharon Davis, Diana Raleigh, Decola DK, Kate Parker, Patricia DeBrow, Josetta Inskeep, Mel B, Gina D, Deb Walker, Sylvia, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name right, Sylvia, Nier, Annie Hills, and Maggie Hunn. That was so nice. I believe we have more comments and more people to thank. And if I missed your name, will you send an email to me? I'll have the email and the link, and I use my Gmail address more often. Okay, I'm looking for more information on Barry Cox. People that maybe know him very well and hope that he'll do, I don't think he's going to do some interviews, but those people that can enlighten us and tell us more about what's going on with Barry. And so, the second part, which I'm trying to not make it too long, I have the unique and fortunate type of personality that I can make a short story long rather than a long story short, because in every story we have so much that we can learn and think through. So oftentimes you may really agree with me, and many times you may not, and I want to learn about that and find out what your thinking is. And I again, I appreciate it, and I'm so open to criticism because I know it's a valuable place to learn. So the topic we'll discuss today is this horrific cult trial. It's very normal for it to spark anger, upset, anger, frustration. If we feast on it a little too much, it can get into rage. And it's a normal way for us to process maybe some other anger or frustrations that we have. It gives us a point of direction because of well, especially the victims, the lives lost, and multiple families affected that I want to respect and honor. So, I would just share what I'm doing and what I try to do, which doesn't always happen. And I'm never going to say that I'm great at it, but I found it mentally healthy to go ahead and feel that emotion, maybe take a pause from the trial, come back, feel that emotion again. It's okay. But regulating that emotion is a key to your mental health. And as you walk through that emotion, what you want to do is begin to create some curiosity in your brain, because you know that you weren't raised this way. You didn't have these kinds of influences that the church influenced the beliefs. A group of people that were eager to try to find a way to look beyond this world and use well, I think the first thing that they really got into, besides prepping and being concerned about end times, but one of the slippery slopes I think that the group became focused on was near-death experiences. And it is intriguing. There are numerous accounts of near-death experiences. All of them have some kind of weaving through the story and having some links that connect to others. So it's not, very rarely is it totally different from any other thing that we've heard. So we'll talk more about that, and thank you for following with this trial. Please think about keeping your anger, your emotions, or making sure they don't get out of hand. It'll probably be common for other emotions or other times that you've been frustrated that maybe you didn't talk through. That's why I love your comments. They're so important to talk through those kind of things and allow your brain to kind of reprocess it so that we don't have pent up anger and rage that hasn't been expressed or taken the time to walk through and look at the truth versus based on feelings and emotions that have definitely hit us hard. It happens with everyone in life. So again, thank you. I'm looking forward to hopefully continuing to share some thoughts, to research and to look into different aspects of these people so that we are aware. The most basic innate part of our brain is survival. And when there's great danger or something that's way out of our norm, then it often intrigues us and helps us to process at a basic level to avoid these types of experiences. And if you watch Chase Hughes, he's part of the behavior panel, but he also has an incredible program. if you watch him, on one of his videos, I hope to link it below, he really talks about the way that we are much more vulnerable to authority than any of us comprehend. So he really walks through research and helps you see that average people from the research put into a situation, and you may be aware of that study, that when the authority told them to shock the person trying to explain it's a behavior modification. But the situation is, the more that they missed the repetition of the words, or maybe even explaining the words, the higher they continued to go on shocking a person. Of course, the person that's the subject and volunteer or got paid a tiny amount. I think during those days it might have been like $4. They had already invested, and I believe that experiment also paid for their expenses. It was very little, but once they've invested and they want to be a volunteer to help this study, I think it got to a point that most every person that was the volunteer chose to shock the other person. And the important thing is they really weren't shocking. Excuse me. I have paint on my hands. I've been painting a black metal shelf, and I used some spray paint, and that wasn't a good idea. So I noticed that in the video, and I'm distracted. Neural divergence. So let's get back to the story. The participants of this study were not actually shocking the person that was in the soundproof room, but they were using, and at that time it was a vinyl turntable of screams that were recorded, and just wild reactions of yelling and excessive pain that was recorded, so that the participant heard those things. And normally we wouldn't continue something that might hurt another person or may cause them some pain just because of an experiment. But it went to the level, and I hope you look into this. It's really, really interesting that they shocked, or what they thought was shocking, the person at a huge level, to where it got to, it would shock them to death. And every participant in that study followed the authority of the person that was in charge of that study. And I wanted to say, no, I would never do that. If I hear pain from a person, then I believe that I would definitely buck the authority and say, wait, I would not be compliant. But we have those visions of ourselves and how we feel like we would react. And the truth is, I wasn't in that situation. I hadn't been there. And his point is that we can all fall into the allowing others to have authority and power over us. So thanks for taking the time, and I appreciate your comments. I look forward to your discussions. If you have anything you'd like to share with me, maybe privately, you can email me and I'll put the link below. Okay, I hope you have a great Monday. Whoa.